Hey everyone, so you are hanging out in my house and we're now going to talk about writing. So, although you won't write a lot in this class this semester, I would be remiss if we didn't spend some time talking about some basic grammar, giving you some tools, and because we're going to talk about it right now, there may be a question or two that are going to pop up on your quiz. So, let's get into it. So my goal here is to emphasize that I want everything that you write, even in preparation for your assignment, to aim to be clear and concise. And as you can see from the list, when you're not clear and concise, it brings about confusion. And the last thing you want to do as a practitioner is to write a document or a message that may confuse your audiences. So if you put together a save the date for an event, but you actually have a different day of the week that goes with the date, which seems very careless, it's a problem. People don't know which day or which date to show up. Or if you're using just poor grammar, the issue is people question the professionalism there. And so, this list of things here are just examples of what may happen when we don't push for clear and concise messaging. So right here is just a little visual that I found in our textbook that I really love. I know that a lot of us don't love writing, but it's indicative of what we do, and we only become better writers by writing often and then editing our work. So for every single project that you do, consider the first draft the worst draft, and then to keep working on iterations. Before you turn something in to me, ask yourself, how many times have I worked on this draft? If the answer isn't at least three, there may be a red flag. As you can see from this list, and I really like pointing to things, there are some common mistakes we need to be aware of going forward as college students. So, run on sentences, punctuation, things like that, we have to be aware of because we're now at that level where we bring our best. But to help you with that, because you're not on an island, I want to introduce you to some of my favorite friends. It's those guys right there. And so the first app is actually a text to speech app. It's absolutely free and it reads back to you anything you write on your computer. You cut and paste it in and it'll read it back to you. Why is it important? Because we tend to write the way that we talk. However, those are two vastly different things. And so when you read something that you just wrote, you interpret it the way you want to, and sometimes that's not what actually is on the page. If you have the computer read it back to you verbatim, the computer will give you explicitly what you just said. And so you may hear different words than what you meant to write. Or when the computer doesn't stop to breathe, you know it's a run on sentence because it will only pause for a period. So it's an app that I use all the time. I want to share that with you. The other app is Grammarly, my other best friend that I found in college. Grammarly catches all of the things that we learned in first and second and third and fourth grade that we may have forgotten as we've gotten older. So those are run-on sentences and dangling modifiers and things along those lines that you kind of think, I don't know what you're talking about. Grammarly knows it, Grammarly will catch it, and Grammarly will give you the correct way to fix that actual document. So these are ways to make sure that you're not losing points because of a tried and tested education that you just kind of sort of don't rely on that much anymore. We don't think about the things that we learned in second grade because it's been 10, 15 years. Grammarly can help you with that. This will tighten up your writing. There are free applications for both. I advise everyone to download them, not just for my class, but for all of your classes. As with everything on all of our slides, I hope you read what's actually there because I'm contextualizing it, but I'm not reading it to you. And so right here, it's just literally from your textbook that you have read once or twice, or you will read once or twice this semester. Some common mistakes, some common goals, some common clarity when it comes to writing in a very clear, concise manner when it comes to professionalism within mass communication. Read that list. Take that stuff down. And then last but not least, see, I told you this was going to be a quick lecture video. These are the AP style guide rules that you need to be familiar with. In many classes, you have to hammer in AP Style Guide rules. And here I'm going to give you a few that I want you to hold fast to that will really help tighten up your writing in general and that may or may not be on your quiz in a few minutes. So one thing is avoid unnecessary capitalization. We all know the beginning of a sentence has a capital letter and some, proper pronouns have capital letters. So if you're not sure, look it up. Also, when it comes to abbreviations, you don't need periods between. So it's not just F period, B period, I period. It's just FBI. You also want to make sure that you understand the ways in which to use commas and semicolons. Again, these are things that you've already learned. The AP Style Guide is telling you what's recommended if you're in a mass communication field. So if you're a publicist or a journalist, these are the style guidelines to help guide you so that everyone's writing in the same clear, concise manner. Random fact, not here, is the AP Style Guide adopted in June 2020 that the B in black is now officially capitalized. So if you didn't know that, you are welcome. So the New York Times, the Washington Post, BuzzFeed, you name it, when you reference black people, black communities, black individuals, the B is capitalized. For some of us, it's always been capitalized, but the AP Style Guide just caught up. So take a look at that list. Make sure you hold on to it. You're officially done with my brief lecture on writing. Make sure you've read through all the material. Any readings for this particular week, you've read through those. You've watched this video in its entirety. You have your notes ready to go because now you're ready to jump into your next quiz. You know what the quiz is like now. You've engaged with the quiz or a quiz prior. You're ready to go. Best practices, use your strategies. If you have questions, I will see you and or talk to you on the other side.